So I got an email today, and this showed up. Hold on, let me mentally prepare for this. This is the new qiyi clock, which is supposed to be this color. But not only is it just a color difference, it's actually supposed to be good. I have a competition tomorrow, and depending on how good this is, I might use it. I just cut my nails, so this is, oh, let's see if we'll get it off. I'm really scared right now, actually. Oh, that's cute. So before we get into the clock, let me try to show you guys these inserts here. So I think these two go together, and those two go together. So that's what they look like. You guys want to see that? Oh, we have more stuff on the bottom here. I didn't even know. Here's some cool accessories. So I accidentally touched the pins off camera. These feel like the Pi mod pins, honestly. This is the Pi Cube clock. Yeah. I mean, nothing different structurally. This is like what the insert would look like. I don't know about the inserts, but they kind of look nice. I like them. Alright, we'll move on to the first turns. I'm really scared. Alright, very dry out of the box, but this definitely feels like a Pi modded clock. Don't hate it. You could definitely use up some lube though. So out of the box, this qiyi clock, it's alright. I think it's better than the stock qiyi clock out of the box, but I'm gonna do some setup and see what I think after that. So I started the setup by immediately unscrewing all of the screws on the clock, which was actually really hard. And then once I did that, I took apart the clock and I started to apply a very thin amount of Traxxas 50K by using a paper towel and just wiping it on the plastic cover like so. Once I started to do my first turns again, I realized that this was not very good. The front moves were fine, but the back moves definitely felt way too heavy. They felt pretty horrid, to be honest. So to investigate, I decided to take apart the whole clock and take a look inside. There were very strong pin magnets and also very strong center magnets. If you look at this, you'll see that the edge magnets on the edge of the clock are lowered down significantly compared to the center magnets, which are raised significantly higher. So the method I use to combat this issue, which applies to new batch qiyis, is to use a thumbtack to push down all of the magnets since the center magnets are being raised by glue. If you do this to both center magnets, the center magnet strength will now be almost equal to the edge magnet strength. Once I carefully put back together the clock, it was a lot better. It felt a lot better. It still felt a little too fast, so I put some more weight 5 in there. I taped it all up with electrical tape, and that's how I set up my qiyi limited edition clock. Now, the clock itself is very interesting. I think it's more of a mix between an old batch qiyi and a Pi Cube clock. So if the old batch qiyis, they had really good turning, but really bad pins. You would get a lot of face jumps. Sometimes when you press a pin, it wouldn't actually like hold up. It would be all wonky and all of that. That's what the Pi Cube was trying to solve with the stronger pin magnets, which made the clock more stable, but I feel like the Pi Cube clock was almost too stable. If you lower down the center magnets of the qiyi limited edition clock, this problem is solved and you get the best of both worlds. You get the pin stability of the Pi Cube clock and the turning of an old batch qiyi. It is incredible. Now, since most top clock solvers use the Pi Cube clock, I can imagine a lot of the first turns will be overshooting and overestimating the true speed of this clock when it's set up properly. It's very frustrating to deal with, especially in your first solves if you're not in the right mindset or you just don't have time to prepare or warm up. But if you put yourself in the right mind space, if you have the right turning, if you get used to it, this clock becomes amazing. It feels so much faster. It still feels stable, but it feels a lot faster than what a Pi Cube clock could accomplish. Simply because a Pi Cube clock was a lot more rough, it was harder to turn, it was a little slower. It still gave me good times, but I just didn't enjoy using it. When I solve on this qiyi limited edition clock and I'm locked in, I really do enjoy solving this puzzle. I have not felt this enjoyment in quite a while. Maybe it's because I got this really good average on camera, but you know, whatever. The cons of the qiyi limited edition clock is probably its speed, especially if you're used to maybe a slower clock like the Pi Cube clock. But if you have an old batch qiyi and it's pretty fast, then I wouldn't see a problem with the transition here. I also don't love the center magnets. I don't love that you're gonna have to push them down
and that's just something that should have been done in the factory. And compared to the PiCube clock, this clock is not set up with any lube or anything like that. The PiCube clock, I believe, is lubed with Traxxas 50K. In terms of using the qiyi limited edition clock's inserts, I don't find them very helpful. In fact, that's how I first found out that the center magnets were an issue. You definitely do notice a change in turning, but it's mostly negative and it's related to instability. Top clock solvers, I would not recommend using these inserts, but if you are just solving clock for fun, you want to have a nice clock to display, you can put it in another clock and it would look pretty cool. I've only done about maybe 50 solves on this clock so far, but I'm really liking it. I think this is definitely going to be my main over the PiCube clock in time, but we'll see. I have a competition tomorrow. I want to get some good averages. I want to get a feel for this clock, and I am probably going to use this clock in the first round of competing in a competition with Freelance Clock. Thanks, Zach. So the big old question is my overall rating and if you should buy the qiyi clock limited edition. To answer both of those questions, I think you should buy this clock if you are passionate about clock, if you want to get into clock more, and you're okay with maybe adjusting the clock a little bit to your liking in terms of setup and actually working to make this clock really good. If you are lazier, I would suggest just the qiyi clock since it's more in your budget. I would not recommend buying the PiCube clock because I think these two are pretty similar if you're on a budget. This is also called limited edition for a reason. There's not a whole lot of these clocks being made out, so I would recommend getting your hands on one of them right away. For my final rating, I'm feeling a solid 8.2 on this. I just don't really like that you have to adjust this clock a lot to make it to your preference. I wish maybe a clock could be like more adjustable, but so far I'm really liking the feel. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you to Cubicle for sending this product. This was absolutely wonderful to try out. Make sure you use discount code Carter for 5% off your order, and don't cheat.